What's going on, y'all? Vinny Cuz here, and I finally got my first Lyft upper platforms, XL and above, upfront pricing. So let's get into it, and I can show you what it looks like because it absolutely caught me off guard. So I've been working a little bit during the week in the afternoons, and it's been okay. A lot of short trips, but this popped up on my screen yesterday, and it took me completely by surprise. Now I know Lyft upfront pricing has been on the basic platforms, but I wasn't expecting it without some kind of warning. Anyway, so as you can see, this was a Lux Black ride. Was paying $28.15 plus the $275, so we'll say $25. Just call it 25 even. And it was 5.5 miles to the pickup, which is something I never do. And then it was going to be a 7-mile trip to drop them off. So I took the ride because it just completely caught me off guard. And, it's kind of tough because as soon as you see the upfront pricing, now you're adding both mileages together, right? And I've noticed I've been doing that with Uber. I'm sure many of you have too. And even though at that, let's just think about this for a second. This was 12.5 mile total. $2 a mile on a Lux or an XL, $2 a mile, it's about right? But that's because I'm adding both together. If I were to get this request, depending on how slow it was, I might take the trip, I might not take the trip. Now we're talking without upfront pricing. But, like I said, it caught me off guard. I took the trip, worked out to be a little over $2 a mile. Lux Black in my market, I try to get it about $230 to $240 a mile on the trip. So if I take away the pickup distance, now just bear with me. If I take away the pickup distance, this was a 7-mile trip that would have paid me $25 minus the bonus. So we're just talking regular trips because bonuses come and go. So 7 miles, okay, that's $14. Add another $350. Right? So now you're looking at about, I don't know, like $18, and it actually paid $25. So it seems like they're throwing a little bit of money at us for pickup. And I'll show you what I'm talking about in this next picture here. So you see this came in last night too. Now this one I did not go and get. It was a regular Lux ride, and it was a regular Lux ride. Sorry, I had a phone call. It was a regular Lux ride, but the pickup was 9 miles away. Now, if you guys know me, and if you know you drive Lyft, if I were to have accepted this trip, which I wouldn't have done, even though it was a 10-mile ride total on Lux, adding the two together, or a 1-mile ride to pay $16, depends on how you look at it. I know if it's a 9-mile away trip, it's going to take me more than 12, 15 minutes to get there. More than likely, if I accept the trip and start moving in that direction, we're going to be in trouble because they're going to switch me out and I'm going to be there with no ride. So that wasn't cool. I did not take the trip. But, it's interesting how they're going to work this now. It's like anything else, man. You got to figure out what your mileage would be per mile or per time, per minute. Depends on where you live. You're in Chicago. It's time-wise. It's such a dense community. Maybe LA, maybe New York. It's so densely populated that, you might be a per minute guy. I live in this big market. I'm a per mile guy. Anyway, know what your platforms would normally pay per mile or per minute, and then do the math. And unfortunately, you're going to have to do the math quick. So, yep, that's that one. So let's get into what it's looked like yesterday. Because yesterday was all upfront pricing for me. And as you can see, I put in a little time this week. So I was out last night, almost 5 hours. Some of this time was waiting when I got started because every day that I worked Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and I've worked in a different area every day. So I turn on the apps when I leave the house. So there's some time involved in there. If I get a ride, I get a ride. If I don't, I don't. Because I know I'm cruising to the area I want to work. But understand that mileage adds up. And I'll show you how that works. that mileage adds up. Even if you don't get a request, it's like paying you 60 cents a mile to get there in form of a tax deduction. Okay, so looking at this right here, this Lux ride, this was out of the Panther game last night. I was already there to pick them up. This was a regular Lux ride. It was 22 and a half miles. As you can see here, it showed me $39.99 or whatever it was that it was going to show me, even though it says $40.38 there. It showed me $39, right, on the ride because of the ride charge plus the bonus. There were no tolls on this, so I don't know how that worked out. Anyway, my point is, for the 24 miles at $1.90 a mile would have put me at the right price, $39. So I didn't have a problem with this trip, and I was right there. I didn't have to do anything after that. Okay, some other rides. Let's see here. Now, this Lux ride just came in as a straight Lux ride. And I was heading back towards Sawgrass Mills to begin with from the ride I had just previously dropped off. They only went a mile. Like 3 minutes, even for the guys who are on time. 3 minutes, okay, at $6, I took the trip. But it was odd, this one didn't give me the upfront pricing. And I'll just scan through a couple of these real quick because they are coming in at the right number. They're coming in at the right number, right? This one I had to drive like 1.5 miles to get to, right? 4 miles. And you can see the original fare came in at $17 plus the $2.25 bonus. So what are we talking about? $19, right? For 4 miles. I'm good with that. That number's good. The whole thing's going to come down to when you get that request and they're showing you the upfront pricing, right? They're showing you the upfront pricing. You're going to have to determine, is it worth the drive to go get? And so I've been thinking a lot about this. And so you can see where we're at there. I've been thinking a lot about this. And I guess it's going to come down to if you're going to add the distance to pick up and the distance of the trip together to create your mileage. And is it worth the per mile rate or per minute rate you're going to get? That's what it's going to come down to. And I'm still wondering, how is this going to affect all drivers on New Year's Eve? Because that's usually a driver's Black Friday, so to speak. Uber and Lyft, it's our busiest days of the year to drive. A lot of rides. How's upfront pricing going to affect us? I don't know. I'd be curious to hear your comments down below. If you're getting, if you're on the upper platforms and you're getting the upfront pricing now, hey, I'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment, hit the subscribe, like the video, share it out, and we'll see you next time.